You won't believe how easy it is to make these kind of interactive dashboards in HoloViews. Stick around for a simple tutorial to learn how. Hello everybody! Sometimes you don't necessarily want to make the most perfect plots, especially if you're just plotting for yourself and not planning on showing these visualizations to clients. But you still want to make quality informative plots in the most time-efficient manner as possible. In my opinion, the best way to do that in Python is with the HoloViews package. HoloViews is like a high-level API for your favorite plotting libraries like Bokeh. So think about like Keras to TensorFlow. The backend is still TensorFlow, but Keras allows you to interact with it in a more intuitive manner. So let's see how it works. Let's work with my favorite type of data, stock data. I'm gonna grab updated information on Microsoft and Apple for the last 10 years. So it looks something like this. We have the date for each day and the opening price, closing price, the volume, etc. Regular information. Now let's try and plot it with HoloViews. So as I've said before, HoloViews doesn't work on its own. You have to choose a backend for it. So for this video, I'm choosing Bokeh because I want the interactive abilities of Bokeh, and I specify Bokeh as an extension to HoloViews. You load it up, and then you need to see a confirmation that the backend is loaded successfully. Now we're already set to making some plots. I want you to see how quickly we can do that. So I want to visualize the stock data. It's probably best to use a curve. So I use the curve from HoloViews, I pass on the data frame, and then I specify the column name from which I want to grab the data, and the actual name I want to see in the plot. Similarly here for the y-axis, this is the actual column, close, from which I want to take the data, and I want to specify a different name for the y-axis. So now I can call this function, and we already got a plot. It's a Bokeh plot, so interactive. We can zoom in, we can play and pan with the pen tool, reset it. So I don't know if you've seen my Bokeh tutorial, but this is not so easy to make in Bokeh. You have to configure a plot, you have to configure a column data source, and we got it instantly. It's amazing. And please note that we've just called the plot with Microsoft Curve. So this is already like a plotting variable. I can take another cell and all the information is saved here, and this all information is encapsulated inside this Microsoft Curve. We can call the data from here if we want again, and so this is exactly what HoloView does. It encapsulates your data in a visualizing format. And this is just the beginning. Let's see what else we can make. So, don't you hate plotting side by side? For instance, in matplotlib, you have to first initialize a figure and then subplots and then index it accordingly. It can get really annoying. But here in HoloViews, you can define another plot and then just add the two plots together. It's as simple as that. And we have the two curves side by side. And now you can see how convenient it is that everything is encapsulated inside its variables. So you don't have to reduplicate code for making a single plot and multiple plots side by side. So this is very convenient, and you have the interactivity of Bokeh for both of these plots. What about plotting on top of each other? That can be achieved by multiplying the two curves together. So if we multiply the two curves, again, we didn't have to reduplicate code, we just used the same variables that we've defined before, but now we can plot them together in the same plot, interactively, and we didn't have to choose the color, the legend, or deal with the axes. Amazing, really. Now, just because the API is astoundingly simple, don't be quick to jump to the conclusion that you can't make advanced visualizations with HoloViews. Quite the contrary. So, one last example, I'm going to show you how we can make an interactive dashboard with HoloViews. So what I'm going to do, instead of adding and multiplying curves, I'm going to aggregate them inside a dictionary. So the dictionary is created like this. We have the year as the key, and the curve of the Microsoft data as the value. So we're going to make 10 different keys. So we're going to split the data frame into 10 smaller data frames. And then we're going to use the HoloMap function from HoloViews. HoloMap will take the data, and then we'll make a slide bar on the dimension of the keys that we provided. So for now I want to slide on the years. Let's see how it looks like. So this is the dashboard, this is the Microsoft curve for 2011, and now I can slide through the keys and get the respective curves from this dictionary for that specific year. And it's great, it's interactive, it's still a bouquet plot. Each one of these curves is still a bouquet plot which we can interact with, and this can get even more complicated. We can make a dashboard within a dashboard and make a clickable button here to switch between Microsoft data, Apple data, Tesla data, and this is really great, and I really enjoy using this package, and I hope you will too. This video concludes my favorite Python visualization stack coverage. I'll be moving to new things now, and I'm open to suggestions. Are you more interested in machine learning, in deployment, in theory? I want to make this content as relevant as possible for you people. And I wanted to say a big thank you to Saturn Cloud, which are supporting me in making these videos, and I really like using their platform for hosting my notebooks, which you see in these videos, so it's a great match. And I'm hoping to hear from you guys, and see you next week.